Welcome to FCC Supporters Square. For fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Mark Shipman and Matt Foreman. Hey, it's another episode of season 2. I'm very happy to be doing this. You think preseason, it's like the middle of winter, you're hibernating, you can't wait to unhibernate until February, where you wake up and shave all the body hair off and then go back to FCC land again. But there's things happening. There's things happening here in the silly season, and there's things happening here. Last week we did the Brigade. This week we're doing Norden. Now I have to say Norden because initially I knew them as Pride Norden, and everybody said, no, 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 that's not right. We're just Norden now. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I only knew you as Pride Norden, and there might be others out there. So that's why I'm alerting our listeners that they are Norden. They're not closely affiliated with Pride. They're still friends, but they went another way. So first introduce, I have so many people, I'm hoping I remember everybody. So we have Brian French.
Fenech.
Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Amber Dahlhoff.
You said it right. Good job.
Yay. Brian White.
Oh, we lost White, it looks like.
We lost your video, but that's okay. For our audio listeners, they won't know. And then Rupesh, is it Sharma?
Yep.
Yay, I got everything right. Like I'm a professional here, I just try to do this. So you guys are part of the Pride Norden. So before we get into what you guys do and you've got some upcoming events and whatnot, we've got some comings and goings, literally. So Brandon Vasquez signed with Monterey, and Corey Baird we took from Houston. So I'm going to throw this out to the panel one at a time. Whoever wants to start talking. What do you think about the Brandon Vasquez leaving and the Corey Baird coming in?
I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's good. I mean, Brandon, we knew wanted to do something different, wanted to try something different. So hopefully Monterey works out the way he hopes it does. I mean, I hate to see him go, but it's good for him if that's what he wants, right? Like, sort of excited to see Corey come in, Baird. I think it's a good signing. I think with the risk of Captain Wonder Thighs leaving us, it'll be good to have somebody else that can play that kind of 10 role and score goals. To support, at least to provide some help with it cost us. So yeah, I think it's good. And Noonan we trust.
Rupesh?
Yeah, I agree with Brian when it comes to Brandon. I think he made a deal with the team that he wanted to leave in the summer, and they said, just give us till the end of the year, win some trophies, and then we'll work on getting you out of here. And you know what? If he's happy going down there, like Brian said, good for him. And hopefully we'll see him again in the middle of March if both of us advance in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And then Corey Baird, I mean, I've never paid it or watched him. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like he can fill both a forward and like Brian said, a 10 role, so giving a cost to some backup. So that's good. And I'm sure Chris Albright is looking for more forwards. We can't just sit with just Corey Baird coming in. We're going to have to probably replace Brandon and Baji. So I would assume they're looking for more people. So I think they're both good signings, and Chris Albright's never given us a reason not to trust what he does. So if he's doing it, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Amber?
same thing. Like it's sad to see Brandon go. He's been a great part of the team for many, many years. But I think the timing of it was perfect. Let's know Brandon was leaving, but then at the same time getting that good signing as well. The kind of bad news and good news all at the same time.
I think the best signing so far is Gam. We managed to get $75,000 GAM because we said that guy is ours, even though we weren't going to sign him anyway. So hey, what I see from Albright last year, this year, he's on the ball. He seems to be one of the top, if not the top GMs. So I don't know much about Corey Baird, but other people are excited, and if Albright's excited, then I'm excited. So I think we know that we need a few more weapons, and I'm just waiting for Christmas to come so we get the pack. I mean, Miles Robinson last week, that was a pretty big a preview, but I'm hoping that we have 2 or 3 more signings. This is not like 2020 or 2021 where 8 players left and you're like, and we got 8 players that were basically the same as the 8 players that left, and we didn't like them, and then wasn't too excited about the new ones. Now it's like, well, we do need, we've got players selling. I mean, if we sell Barriel for 6 or 7 million, and Vasquez for what was it, 8.5 million with bonuses and whatever.
7.5 guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a you could buy a couple cups of coffee with that kind of change. So anyhow, so that's kind of, we don't have a huge amount of news other than the comings and goings. I just want to make sure, because I'm not a pundit. We're not pundits, but we still hear things and know things and get excited. By the way, Brian, I really am digging your background there. You've done a wonderful job there. That's the other guys. Oh, I like your background, Amber.
I'm literally podcasting from my parents' basement, so you're going to get what you get right now. So,
Rupesh, I feel like I need to pay your captors off so we can get you home.
Oh no, I'm being a good son, coming over to visit the folks. So,
well, there you go. So, as this episode is Norden, it is called No an SG. So, what is an SG? An SG is a supporter group. We're kind of the not necessarily in the Bailey, but mostly in the Bailey fans. Supporter groups are responsible for the tifos, the chants, the smoke, the march, and all of these things. And so you go, well, why isn't there just one group? Well, because we have different tastes and likes and whatnot. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is the Pride Norden. So, Brian, I'm going to let you kick off. How did this come about? Where did we go? We talked about the Pride at the top of the show. Tell us about the Norden from a general standpoint.
All right, yeah. So as you said, we did start off as Pride Norden, and with a lot of help, we transitioned into just Norden. I mean, they helped us set up leadership, set up organization, scarf design, everything in the beginning. Really allowed us to start off so strong, and that's why our friendship with Pride is still there. A lot of their members are at our events. We're at their events. I mean, in our different channels that we talk with and everything. So I don't want to belittle that at all. I mean, Pride's a huge part. A lot of us were Pride members and then became Pride Norden and then transferred over to Norden. Norden to me is it's almost a community now. It's a fun group of people, not just soccer fans. I mean, we're soccer fans, yes, but we hang out, we do stuff. We go to hockey games and football, Reds games, and it's stuff. It's a fun community of pretty fun people. I'll tell you, when I fell in with them, I was not looking to get back into another supporter group. I had been years with 2 different ones, and I couldn't be any happier with Norden. Been with these guys now for a while, and I absolutely love the group.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like it's fun, because that's the key word I've heard was fun. So I have been to your supporter bar, not during match days, but supporter bar during away days. Rupesh, can you tell me a little bit about your away bar?
Sure. So we all meet at Grainworks, which is a brewery up in Westchester, right across the street from Voice of America. We've been going there, I think, it's 21. So after COVID and everybody could start going back out, we started meeting there for away games. And I would say, other than a handful of times where they've had events planned, every away game at Grainworks. And we get a good, at least I would say 30 people for sure that you're going to see there. And a lot of times it's a lot more just depending on the games. So yeah, Grainworks in Westchester. Anybody's up that way wants to join us, please come on out. We'd be happy to see you there.
If it's definitely a place to go, whether you're a supporter or not, to go to Grainworks, particularly if you were just interested in watching soccer without getting a ticket, right? You go to away games, you got other people, you can ask questions while the match, or maybe not while the match is going on, depends on how exciting it is. But you can kind of get a feel for things, and it's in the northern suburbs, and there's a lot of things going on downtown and a little bit south of the river. But I think you're the only guys further north would be Dayton, but that's a different SG for another day. But that sounds like a lot of fun. So, Amber, where do you go pregame during home matches?
We are at the Symphony Beer Garden. It's actually Symphony Hotel. It's a really cool building. They have amazing rooms there that are all themed to different composers. I think when they started Symphony, it was meant for like people at music hall that were going to events there. But then we kind of take over their backyard area. They have a beer garden back there. High Grain Brewing also brings their beer trucks. So we have a beer truck with tap beer back there. They usually bring a variety of different ones. And then Grainworks also brings their Hellas Real, usually in cans, for the beer garden. And they will make any mixed drink that you want too, which is great. But that gets really crowded, really fun. And if you're not looking to be part of the march all the way up from Northern Row, the march goes right by Symphony. So you're able to either join in right then or just watch it go by and take in all of the match day.
I'm not sure, but I heard that you have good brats there. That's rumor has it that there's some really good brats there. I haven't had a chance to go there. Right now we're homeless, so I got to figure out where we, the brigade, are going to be. But I will have to make an appearance at some point over there, because Hellas Real is my go-to beer.
It won Cincinnati's favorite beer.
I don't know about that. I really do like it, but Cincy Light has kind of made a name for itself. So you guys gonna have a run for your money. And they're different beers for different things. I'm just saying. So we'll start with you, Brian. Quickly, how did you get specifically into the Norden?
I was actually at a Grainworks away party, and one of the members came over and asked if I was in a supporter group, and I had said, yeah, I didn't renew this year. I was with two other ones, but I think I'm done with supporter groups. I'm kind of just enjoying being a fan. And he kind of talked to me about it and kind of explained Norden, family friendly, inclusive, just a group kind of a thing. And, all right, I'll give it a try. And I mean, I fell in love pretty much that day. It's just such a different group of people, man. It's all ages, races, socioeconomic levels. It's very family friendly. Just a group of people that like hang out and talk about stuff.
That's fantastic. Rupesh, how did you get into all of this?
Like Brian said, I was a member of the Pride early on, and then Chris Marshall and some guys started the Pride Norden chapter. So I joined up with them, and when they split away from just being their own independent thing, I stayed with the Norden. And so I've pretty much been a member since 2019, I guess, right since we got an MLS. So, yeah.
Amber?
My husband and I, we've been season ticket holders since 18, I think. That sounds right. Since 18. And honestly, when we went to, we're like, oh, the Bailey, that looks amazing. That looks really fun. And a couple of friends are Columbus Crew fans, and they've been Columbus Crew fans forever. But they're like, to make it really, I know, but to make it really, really fun, join a supporter group. You'll get to meet new people. They'll really help kind of explain the whole soccer thing, because we were just new. We're like, this looks fun. Let's try it out. So we were Pride for a while, and then we went to all the away matches, and then we went to all the home games, and we just fell in love with the group and have stayed with it for the whole time.
And I think one thing that none of us have said, and I think a lot of us say this, is we just like drinking beer, hanging out with friends, and watching soccer, and that's the vibe. And honestly, it helps because a lot of the groups, like you said, are in downtown, Matt. And for all of us, I know Amber and I live up near Lebanon, Brian's in Westchester. So for a lot of us to go downtown for an away game doesn't make sense. So it's nice to have a group up here in the northern suburbs for sure.
I live in Glendale, so I know exactly what that is and what that means.
Yeah.
That's why most of my away games are usually at home. But you know, I will try to make an appearance maybe once up there. I definitely have watched U.S. men's teams at Grainworks, and that's, you know, the same kind of vibe, the same kind of people. I hear that you have something interesting coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we have our big charity event that we do with St. Vincent de Paul's Pharmacy down in the West End. We also have our scarf release. It's all February 3rd at Grainworks. It's 4 to 10 on February 3rd. Jimmy McLaughlin will be there. Gary the Lion will be there. The Supporters Shield will be there. And then Norton's own favorite band, Bofus, will be playing to close it out. And they are an amazingly fun band to watch. It's just a great time. But the whole event, there's a raffle, there is silent auction, there's scarf sales if you didn't pre-order. If you did pre-order, you can pick your scarves up there, not worry about anything else. And it's a great event, man. We packed out, and last year we raised around $6,000 or maybe even a little bit over for St. Vincent de Paul. And with their corporate matches, I mean, it was a ridiculous amount of money that it ended up being for them. And you know, that's a big part of us with Norden. We partner here locally. We work with Reach Out Lakota as much as we can here in the Westchester area, and then St. Vincent de Paul is the pharmacy. The West End Pharmacy is our main charity partner.
That sounds great. So I did get some information. So for those of you who are interested, who didn't pick up that, or you're in the car listening or watching at home or whatever, I will have all the information on how to get a hold of Norden, how to, obviously, you know where it is. But all of that will be in the show notes, so you guys can go out and check it. It's February 3rd. Okay. Yes, I know that we at the brigade are planning something a couple of weeks later, but I have details, but I don't have enough details to share yet. But it's going to be kind of fun. It's not going to probably be as Pride because, well, I'm not playing anywhere. If they allow me to come up and play some guitar or bass, I would love to. I love to sit in. I don't know what exactly they play, but I could play just about anything. So we'll figure that one out. So I know you said hell is real. Do you guys have any plans for other beers? Have you guys ever been in planning for scarves or any of that kind of stuff? Or are you guys just regular members and along for the ride?
So the new scarf is this one behind me here, the Norton Eternal. It's a great scarf we got for this year. The beer, as far as I'm aware, is going to stick Hellas Real. I mean, like Amber mentioned, it won the Cincinnati Craft Beer Beer of the Year award. So it's kind of a big thing, available in the stadium even. So that's pretty cool.
And as far as scarf design goes, our vice president of our group, Kyle Phillips, is the one who designs all our scarves, and he always kills it. So in Kyle, we trust when it comes to that. He will always give us a killer scarf design every year. So he pretty much takes care of that for us.
I did get the Christmas scarf, the holiday scarf. That's one of my favorites. Having designed scarves, I can tell you it's an arduous process, and you put some time in it, and then you put it out, and you're like, oh, I hope people like it. I hope just my SG likes it, let alone outward. So I know it's a lot of time and work and effort to do that. And sometimes if you just want to just chill out and drink and do that, you don't have to get involved. And that's the beauty of an SG, is that like anything else, you could just be a member, show up and hang out with friends. But if you feel inclined, or you're artistic, or you have beer recipes, in this case, you could suggest things and get further involved into your community and your friendship. So besides Pride, I'm gonna throw you guys all on the spotlight here. Besides Pride, Who else do you guys hang out with? What other SGs do you hang out with?
Couple guys from the Vanguard. Be for me the other guys that I hang out with would be Pride and Vanguard, probably the main ones outside of Norden.
I would
Rupesh?
say the same.
Oh, yeah.
The same.
Yeah.
So do you guys
I know-
sit near,
yeah.
where do you guys sit in the Bailey? Because for people who don't know, the
None of
SGs
us.
usually have a space. Everybody has a little area. You guys don't have a space?
So we
Yeah,
do
go
have
ahead,
a few
Brian.
members that are Bailey folk. Most of us have sat at Bailey at different times. I prefer to go back to the Bailey about once a year. But my season tickets are actually next to the Bailey, not in the Bailey. And Amber and Jeff, her husband, are right next to me. Yeah, we got a good clump over there if you're looking at the Bailey from the field on the right side of it, there's a good clump of us Norden folks there. We got another clump down in the First Financial too. So
I'm in the
retirement
retirement
yeah.
village with Marshall. I see him all the time.
Yeah.
us old OGs, we've done a lot of that. So we're like, First Financial is a lot better place to be than there. But that also tells my listeners, I want to make sure that you guys want to know, if you guys want to start your own SG and you don't sit in the Bailey, you can do that. There's no rules that say you have to be in the Bailey to be a supporter. You're a supporter of the team. You want to organize some stuff. Really, the only rules for being a supporter group is you got to like FC Cincinnati, and you try to build a community to push the love of FC Cincinnati outward. That's pretty much the only regulations you have to be a supporter group. There's no size limit. The fifth line, I think, is like 15 members. I know everybody in the Vanguard, unless they got some new members recently, of like 8. So you can be small or large or ginormous, or start small and get bigger. That's kind of the whole fun of this. So
Matt, another thing too about the supporter groups that I think is important is just it's not you have to be at every event and everything and do everything and be there no matter what, give up all your time. I mean, most of us, like me, I have a full-time job. I have a family. I have kids. I have other priorities on top of being a soccer fan, right? And part of being in a supporter group for me was not feeling pressured. If there was a game, I had to give my ticket as a friend, or if there was an away watch party I couldn't attend, or things like that. So I think that the welcomingness and the not having the pressure, it's a come do what you want at your comfort level. Come more often if you want, come less often, join the extra stuff if you want. It's we want you to be comfortable and be happy, be a part of it if you want to be a part of it.
that's fun. So how many of you guys have done TIFO paintings? 2.
I know we could never get downtown.
It's usually cold and it's either very dusty or very cold. It used to be very dusty across the street. Now it's very cold.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, and that's where because we have a new season coming up. I know we have a new TIFO coming up here probably in a month. Starting to get that in, and there's an organization, the International ISG supporter group, the International Supporter Group, or the
Independent.
I can't remember. I don't remember the letters, but there's a supporter group of supporter groups for all of the clubs around MLS, and you can join that as well. And they have a new section. So if you have a TIFO design, you don't have to be a member of an SG to have a TIFO design, but it does help to get to know where to put it and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys ever thought about designing a TIFO?
Not me personally. No, I am not artistic. I'll happily help and paint make this square yellow. I'm good. But yeah, don't ask me to draw anything out, man. I am not an artistic person.
Yeah.
Same.
And that's great. So you don't have to be creative. That helps. It helps if you're trying to do stuff. It's just being a member. It's just joining us. Now, I think did I see you? I saw you like Charlotte, Brian.
Actually, Amber and Jeff were there too.
Okay.
It was the
Yeah.
first time, Matt. I met you in the March a couple of times. I signed your scarf even one, or your cape one time. But until we went to Charlotte, that away match, that was the first time I really got to talk to you and meet you. And yeah, man, it's been a couple years, but it was a good time. It was a great place, and actually looking forward to going back again.
Everything but
year.
the game. Everything but the game.
Yeah, well, small detail.
Until I went to Miami, I was temporarily banned because let's see, I went to Charlotte, they lost, and earlier that season I went to Austin and they lost, and then I went to St. Louis and they lost, and people are like, I don't think it's the team, I think it's you. But then I go to Miami, we beat Messi, and I got to drink the tears of sad Messi fans, and that made everything so much better. So now the ban is lifted. So have you so obviously you went to Charlotte. Have you gone to any other away matches?
Yeah, Nashville, a big group of us went to, and we have a group that goes to Columbus. And we had some guys up in Chicago, and I believe we even had a few of our members that went up to Toronto this past year. So
yeah. And I make a point anytime we're in Minnesota, because I used to work up there. I've been up there for both Minnesota games. I've gone to the last two DC United games out in DC. So I try to make at least one, and I went with Brian down to Nashville last year or so, and that was a fun time. So yeah.
Amber, besides Charlotte?
We went to Charlotte last year. We've gone to Columbus a couple of times, but I think that's another good thing about Norden. We want to travel together. Like, we want to be able to do things. And when we get to these different cities that maybe we've never been to, we have people to hang out with. We have people to talk with. It's just a fun group of people to be with.
I mean, I think we already have like what, 10, 15 people already planning on going down to Charlotte this year, right, Brian?
yeah,
So
it's a big group already.
It's a big group already planning on Charlotte. So
I think that was about 10 of us, 8 of us that went to Charlotte the first year.
Yeah, we had 6 of us, I believe, from Norden. And then you had your clump with you. And when we were at their rally point and all that, it was a lot of fun, man. They really were welcoming fans. I mean, it was honestly, out of all my away matches and everything I've ever done, it was probably one of the best fan experiences I've had. I mean, they even invited us in to be the tail of their march. And that's pretty awesome, really.
It was fun watching them do a march practice at the tailgate.
Yeah. You started that chant off and they were all in.
And I think, Brian, that's where when Brian and Amber and Jeff, Brian and Mindy came back and told us how great they were down in Charlotte. That's what got us to start sending out emails to the away supporters when they're coming into Cincinnati. One of the things I do is reach out to their supporter group and say, hey, if you're in town, you know, here's some places to go. If you want to come before the game, here's where we meet. You're more than welcome to come. This year we had quite a few Nashville fans show up before the game with us. And I think last year we had quite a LAFC, right? We had quite a few of their fans when they came a couple of
their president, vice president of the largest supporter group from LAFC. Yeah.
Yeah. And then same thing with Nashville, their president of their supporter group came in last year before the game and hung out with us.
And that's one of the key part of just soccer culture, right? We were at St. Louis, we got beat. It was after midnight. There's a bar across the street, and there's about 10 of us in that bar across the street. And not only did we not die, people are like, that was a bad game for you guys. Here's a beer. Right? They're like, hey, let's just hang out. Yeah. You go to Pittsburgh, or Pittsburgh fans go to a Cincinnati bar, you know, you're putting your life in your hands. I mean, even in the stadium, I heard somebody say, Pittsburgh fans were I went to Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh fans were threatening us and they kicked us out because we stood up. And I was like, maybe you guys needed your own section for your own fans. I wonder what sport does that. So other than during the game time, it does get intense, and there's always some banter, whether you want to engage in that or not. But I've always known before and after a match, even with the team up north, it's always a fun time. It's more fun when you win, but it is always a fun time. So, any final thoughts? Anything that you'd like to say before we head out on this Norden Noah SG?
Matt, I appreciate you having us on, man. I appreciate you giving up time on your show for us. And you're welcome at Symphony or at Grainworks or anything you can get your way to, man. You know, you're always welcome. You'll be among friends every time, brother.
That's what I love about FCC fans of any SG or no SG at all. Is that if there's beer involved, people are always friendly in this town. Rupesh, any final words from you?
No, I think Brian's right. Come on out, especially, you know, February 3rd. Come join us at Grainworks, see what we're about. Normally, Brian and I are two of the guys greeting people, so we'll be more than happy to see you out there. And if you come to games, come down to Symphony. We're usually there, 3 hours before kickoff, outdoor your beer garden. So just come join us and join any group. If you want to just go around, see what it's about. I mean, I encourage it. It's definitely, soccer's a lot more fun to watch with friends than just by yourself, in my opinion. So.
Agreed. And just so you guys know, because of all SGs kind of do their own little thing, you know, Dynastat does the Oktoberfest. Coming up in March is the Cincinnati St. Patrick's Day Parade, in which we march. We are the representatives of FC Cincinnati. So you guys are all invited to come down and march with us at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It's a lot of fun. You get to watch me walk backwards and do chants for a mile. So it's a lot of fun. Amber, any last thoughts before we go?
Just thank you again for having us on. Anyone that's watching, listening, like, you're more than welcome to come to any of our events. Please don't feel intimidated to come. We are the most welcoming group of people. We'll probably even buy you a beer.
There you go. So thank you guys from Norden. This is our second episode of Noah SG. I think we'll have another episode with another group. People that these people may know. It starts with a B. I have to set some things up. We'll see how that works. But you know how they are. They're like herding cats sometimes, but they're a great, lovely bunch of people. But thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for giving me your perspective, and hopefully I can get you on this show individually so we can talk how you got started as an FCC fan, how you got into soccer, where you came from, because that's what we're really interested in here at FCC Supporters Square. So for all of my guests at Norden, I'm Matt Warman. We'll talk to you next week here on FCC Supporters Square.